Hi, my name is Benjamin Webb, and this year I am joining Poetry in Action as we take poetry into schools across Australia. And I can't quite believe that I'm saying this, but we're halfway through rehearsals, halfway through airports, halfway through thousands of kilometers, halfway through performing poetry to schools all across Australia. So because we have a little bit less on, I thought this week it would be a great opportunity to look at where we are now, how we've got here, and what is yet to come. So here we go, tour week 11. We only had one show, and it was for the State Library of New South Wales. We did Rhyme Battle Royale. We got to perform it for both kids and adults. There are a number of VIPs there from both Poetry in Action and from the government as well. So it was great to see how they responded to the show, and for them to come and support the company was really awesome. Even more exciting was that a number of parents and guardians had decided to bring their kids to the show, which for New South Wales was during the school holidays. And so there are a number of kids sort of dragging their feet as they came through the doors, not really excited, not really knowing what was going to happen in this show. And ended up leaving, bounding out of their seats, jumping up and down with joy because they really got into the show. It won them over and they loved it so much. And to see the difference between them entering the door to them exiting the door, to see that change is so incredibly rewarding. Because we only did one show this week, I'll do the weekly roundup right now. We only did one Rhyme Battle Royale this week, so our total goes from 105 to 106, and our time for that show was 43:24, and that was basically because there was so much laughter and people really wanted to sit in the jokes, so we got to give it some more room to breathe. Keep an eye out next week because our workshop numbers are about to change. And so because we only had one show, the rest of the week could be categorized into 2 work events and 2 non-work events. The 2 work events were both focused on next year for Poetry in Action. The team and I were recruited to go and meet a photographer for 2.5 hours and do a photo shoot, performing all 4 plays and getting some stock shots of stills that they can use in the promotion for next year's shows. Listening to music, grooving along, and then getting some photos whilst you're doing that. And then the other event was that we were reading 3 scripts that the company is potentially tossing up at performing next year. So it felt like we were back at the start of rehearsals again, going through 4 different plays and reading the scripts, talking about what we liked, didn't like, what was confusing, what could be improved, and so getting to actually have your voices heard by management and putting your creative spin on the words that you see, the voices that you hear, the characters that you can make up on the spot. It was very, very fun. In the 2 non-work events on Tuesday night, I met up with a bunch of my actor friends and we did a whole bunch of improvisation exercises and activities, and there must have been something in the air that night because we all wanted to act like trolls. Now, most of the time in these Tuesday improvisation nights, we try and act as natural, as grounded as possible, but we were like, no, we're gonna go magical, fantastical, crazy. And so pretty much everyone there at one point or another in a scene became a troll. And so that was a nice magical through line that made the evening just very fun and memorable. And then Wednesday night, Lockie hosted Zefyr and I and a couple of other friends as we watched the State of Origin, and we won, baby! New South Wales beat Queensland at home. It was such a fun night to put work aside, embrace time with your friends, and go back and re-enter the workforce the next day. I've shared similar moments like this before, but there was a moment this week that I think is emblematic of the tour thus far. When we were performing at the State Library this week, both kids and adults alike know that my character Zefyr is not good. And that's deliberate because he's supposed to go on this journey of self-discovery, self-actualization, the hero's journey. And not even halfway through the play, in a moment of vulnerability where my character is getting very anxious, not knowing what to do, and the 2 sort of teaching characters are on the side discussing what they're gonna do with him and about him, I looked into the eyes of a young kid in the front row, not even maybe 5 years old, and they looked back at me and they said, "You can do this." And that's the whole point, is to have young people across the country see themselves represented on stage, see these characters go on their journeys, learning about poetry along the way, yes, and also hopefully learning how to be the best version of themselves. After my announcement video back in January that this would be my year-long opportunity that I was working on, I remember making these videos in preparation for rehearsals. Poetry scares me. And it's not that, oh, it's a little bit intimidating, but I'll be fine. It's a genuine, slightly uncomfortable, sit with it kind of fear. And this year I'm joining the Poetry in Action Tour, which means that poetry isn't just an idea anymore, it's daily work. Adults will meet you halfway, students won't. And honestly, I kind of respect that. Before rehearsals properly begin next week, I want to zoom out one more time. And in them, you might remember I used to start with the phrase, poetry isn't just an idea anymore, it's daily work. And as the year has gone on, I've sort of stopped saying that, not because it became less true, but because my understanding broadened. Yes, this is a job. Yes, some days we work hard. Some days we work really hard. But it is so much more than a job. It's so much more than just me and my teammates. It's about the students and their reactions and how they will take these core memories and expand on them as they continue to grow. Rehearsals are where things became a bit more poetic. Weeks 1 and 2, everything was brand new. Weeks 3 and 4, it was a struggle to walk through the door. Weeks 5 and 6, we picked up steam and found our groove. And weeks 7 and 8, we learnt 4 shows and were feeling great. Week 9, it kind of breaks the pattern. Part revision, part preparation. And I think week 9 feels the most like this week does, because it was the end of something and the beginning of something else. And that's what this is. Like, logistically, it is the end of the first half of the tour and the beginning of the second half, but it's also the end of figuring this thing out. We understand the gig now. We've been doing it for 11 weeks. And so now marks the beginning of a space to play within this framework that we've established for ourselves within the team as we tackle the rest of the tour head on. And then we were out on the road, and over the past couple of weeks we've been saying to each other that yes, you do get to see most of the country on this job as it's hurtling by you at 100 kilometers an hour through the car window. And you guys would have seen that I used some of that time in the car to film some B-roll for you as an overlay for what we're doing, so I can show you what we're experiencing. Whilst that is true that we're driving a lot of the time, we've also done so many exciting things. And there's more to come. And so I want to end with a thank you. Thank you for watching, yes, for commenting, liking, subscribing, but thank you for enjoying. I do this, A, so that I can look back and see what the year was, but B, so that you can come along for the journey, so you can see, have a peek into whatever this crazy wild ride is. Thank you to my teammates, thank you to Poetry in Action, to the schools, the teachers, the students. Thank you to everyone who has made this first half of the tour as incredible as it was. When I made my first poetry video, I thought the story was going to be about me learning poetry. It isn't. It's me learning about how I work, learning what scares me, what I value, what kind of performer I want to be. And somehow, we're only halfway. Half of the tour still remains. More schools, more poems, more mistakes, more lessons, and I will continue to bring you along. If you missed last week's video of us down in Canberra, it should be right over there for you. Be sure to come back next week as we head up to the top of Queensland in Cairns. I will see you there, but until then, be well, stay safe, don't die, and I'll see you next time.